morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Grandstream. Today's host is Phil Bowers, and he is their Director of Marketing and will be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Phil will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Phil, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm very much looking forward to what you're going to share with us. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
All right, thanks, Julie, and good morning to everyone. Thanks again for having me. Always excited to, be here and meet with Microcom and the Microcom community to give you guys an update on, what's going on with us. I know we've had, I think our last webinar, we went pretty in depth into our growing Wi-Fi solutions. We're going to touch a little bit more on that here today. But basically, today's webinars should be a pretty light and easy to follow topic. I'm going to introduce you to 8 brand new Grandstream products. Most of them are currently available. A few of them are actually going to be launched later this week, and I will let you know about that as we go. And then I'll give you a preview of 3 upcoming products that you should see launched in July towards the end. So we're going to tell you about 8 brand new products. Some of them launched over the last couple of months, and a couple of them are actually coming later this week. So let's jump right into it. So obviously, as I just mentioned, and as we really covered on our last webinar, we're really putting a lot of focus, dedication, and resources towards really growing Grandstream to not only be one of the leading VoIP and UC manufacturers in the world, but also one of the leading Wi-Fi solutions manufacturers in the world. As we covered on our last webinar, and as I'll quickly go through again here today, we've got a whole portfolio full of Wi-Fi solutions, access points, 3 different management systems, and as the year goes on, we're continuing to build that out. And 4 of the new devices that I'm going to tell you about today are Wi-Fi access points. And before we get into that, just want to point out that part of those efforts and really what's behind every access point that Grandstream pumps out is this certification of the Wi-Fi Alliance. The Wi-Fi Alliance is an independent organization that basically sets standards and works to create a global community of manufacturers and users to drive adoption and evolution through the Wi-Fi space. And we are excited to not only have all of our new Wi-Fi access points fully certified by the Wi-Fi Alliance, but we are actually now a member of that Wi-Fi Alliance. So the 4 new, let's again just go right into our 4 new Wi-Fi access points. All of these devices have launched over the last 4 or 5 months. The 7664, the one all the way on the left, we probably covered that in our last webinar, but I wanted to cover it again here today. So we've got the GWN 7664 over there on the left. That is now our most high-powered indoor Wi-Fi access point, fully Wi-Fi 6 certified. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a second. To the 2 to the right of the GWN 7664 are our first 2 long-range Wi-Fi 6 access points, the GWN 7060LR and the GWN 7664LR, and that LR just stands for long range. Basically, the 7664 LR, a little bit higher end, supports more clients mainly than the 7660 LR. We'll go through that in a moment. And then we've got the GWN 7625 over there on the right. That is a Wi-Fi 5 access point, whereas the other 3 access points here are Wi-Fi 6. And I believe in our last webinar, we really went in depth and covered kind of, the advantages of Wi-Fi 6, it being just really the newest and the latest and the greatest evolution of Wi-Fi technology. Wi-Fi 6 really meant to handle a lot of clients and a lot of devices. That's why it was designed. Although the majority of Wi-Fi networks out there are still utilizing and will be for quite a long time Wi-Fi 5 technology, if you don't need to support a lot of different clients and a lot of different users, then Wi-Fi 5 is a fully adapt and fully comprehensive technology for that. So these are the 4 new access points that we have launched over the last couple of months. I'm going to go through and break them down a little bit for you real quickly. Going to start with the 7664. This is the most powerful access point in our portfolio. I should probably mention that it is the most indoor. It's an indoor access point. But it is the most powerful access point in our portfolio, as you can see there from the 3.55 gigs per second that it supports. Gives you the 4x4 multi-user MIMO, which is the basically has 4 internal antennas. All of them with this multi-user MIMO technology are able to maximize the amount of clients that and signals, basically the amount of data that it can both send and receive at the same time. And the result of that is that this device supports up to 750 concurrent clients, which is frankly nearly unheard of from what we've seen within this Wi-Fi access point space, much more than most of its direct competitors, including major brands that you all probably know. 750 concurrent clients, again, the 3.55 gigs per second. One of the other great differentiators of the 7664 is that it actually gives you 2 different network ports, one of them being a 2.5 gig port. Many of the competitors for this device, again, from the well-known manufacturers that everybody knows, are not going to have more than one gigabit port. And it kind of makes you wonder how a device that is built without, basically 2 different ports here, the ability to support 3.5 gigs through those ports, if it doesn't have that, makes you wonder how it can really support some of the speeds that some of those other manufacturers claim. So again, 3.5 gigs per second, 750 concurrent clients, 2 different network ports, a 2.5 gig port and a 1 gig port, coverage range of 175 meters, which is pretty, that is what you're going to get from, I believe, all of our indoor access points. QoS built into it allows you to use, then this is all of our access points, so I'll cover the QoS now. That built-in QoS allows you to basically set these devices to do whatever you, to prioritize whatever you would like them to prioritize. Best example here is if you are, putting in a voice over Wi-Fi network with a lot of different IP phones, cordless Wi-Fi phones, or even desktop Wi-Fi phones, you're going to want to use this QoS to prioritize the voice traffic on your network. If you're not, and you're using it mostly for data and traffic, you can use it to prioritize that type of traffic as well. I'll cover the 3 free management options, a cloud, software, and an embedded option, and those 3 free management options are available across all of our access points. So that's 7664. Again, that is if you remember anything about it, it is the most high-powered access point in our portfolio. It is a Wi-Fi 6 access point. Here's the 7664 LR. As you can kind of tell from the model name, this basically takes all of the specs from the 7664 we just talked about and turns it into a long-range access point. Same 3.5 gigabits per second support, same with the 4x4 multi-user MIMO, same with those with the 750 concurrent client support, same with the 2 network ports, a 2.5 gig and a 1 gig. This just gives you coverage range, long range coverage of up to 300 meters. All of our long range access points are also built with weatherproof and tamper-proof casing, so they can be fully utilized indoors, outdoors, regardless of the temperature or the weather condition. So yeah, that is the 7664 LR. This is a Wi-Fi 6 long range access point, and it would therefore be the highest powered long range access point in our portfolio. I covered this already, but just again, want to point it out, a huge differentiator of those 2 devices, especially with other high-end access points. The fact that they support 750 concurrent clients, almost unheard of. So one of the, to continue on with our new Wi-Fi 6 access points, oh, you know what? I completely forgot to mention one thing here. The 7664 LR is going to be officially launched on Thursday. So what is that? Tomorrow. It is not officially launched yet. It will be officially launched tomorrow, and you should be able to get stock of it if you don't already within the next couple of weeks. The 7664 is fully available. It was launched back in January. So the 7660 LR, this was launched, I believe, back in March, so this device is fully available. This was our first long-range Wi-Fi 6 access point. As you can see from the specs, if you compare them to the 7664 long-range that we just showed, it's not as high-powered. I'd say that this is more of your standard mid-tier Wi-Fi 6 long-range access point. 1.77 gigs per second does give you the 2 gigabit Ethernet ports. Obviously, Wi-Fi 6 coverage range of up to 250 meters, whereas you saw with the 7664 LR goes up to 300 meters. This one only has the 2 detachable antennas, whereas the 7664 LR has 4, which does allow it to have a little bit longer range. So again, that is the 7660 LR, launched back in March, should be fully available right now. It is, again, a standard mid-tier long-range outdoor, can obviously be used for indoors as well. We see a lot of these long-range access points utilized in places like warehouses, for example. But again, this is your standard long-range Wi-Fi 6 access point. So the last device that I'm going to mention here, the last new Wi-Fi access point, this is actually the most recent one that we have officially launched. It was launched back in early June. So if you do not have stock of it now, should be getting it very soon. So this is the GWN 7625. Whereas the other 3 access points I just showed you were all Wi-Fi 6 access points, again, this is Wi-Fi 5, so it's a little bit more cost effective. But again, if Wi-Fi 6 is really built to support a lot of different clients and really busy atmospheres, and if that's not what you're building or not what your client needs or not what your office needs, Wi-Fi 5 is, obviously we've been using it and still are for the most part. So it is fully comprehensive technology, and most Wi-Fi solutions are utilizing Wi-Fi 5. So the interesting thing about this device, which is different from our other Wi-Fi 5 devices, it's actually the first access point we've built that has this. It actually offers both 4x4 and 2x2 in terms of the multi-user MIMO. And as you see on the third bullet point there, it gives you 4x4 multi-user MIMO technology. So again, the 4 antennas that are all sending and receiving data. It gives you that on the 5 gigahertz band. However, on the 2.4 gigahertz band, you're just going to get the 2x2 multi-user MIMO. What that does, frankly, the reason it's designed like that, and there are other major manufacturers that build it too, it's really to just continue to offer a more price competitive model. Most of the time the 2.4 gigahertz band is things that don't need as comprehensive as a connection. A lot of smart devices which actually don't need a very quick connection to be able to regularly operate, and that's why only 2x2 is offered on the 2.4 band, but you get the full spectrum, 4 antennas, both sending and receiving signals at the same time on that 5 gigahertz band. Supports up to 200 concurrent clients, gives you 2.3 gigs per second. Again, this is a Wi-Fi 5 access point for indoor usage, and it does give you 4x4 on the 5 gigahertz band, 2x2 on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Again, really just to offer a very price competitive model. All right, so real quick before we move on to our next product category, just covered 4 new Wi-Fi access points. Just want to show this screen and the next screen up real fast before we move on. Just again to show you the full breadth of our Wi-Fi, specifically our Wi-Fi access point portfolio that you see here. On the screen, a full portfolio of indoor access points, including 2 new Wi-Fi 6 access points over there on the right. You also have our long-range, weatherproof, and outdoor access points, including the 2 new Wi-Fi 6 long-range access points over there on the right. And again, mentioned it a couple of times. We'll just cover this real quickly and we'll move on. But one of the biggest differentiators that we offer within the Wi-Fi space is the fact that we offer 3 free management options. And all of these they're not stripped down by any means. They are fully carrier grade, enterprise level management options. Every single Grandstream access point has a controller built into, that's the embedded option there on the left, just built right into the web user interface. It allows you to set up and manage networks of up to 30 or 50 other Grandstream access points just from the UI of one AP. 30 or 50 depends on which access point you're using as the master to run the embedded network. The most popular option, which I would say around 80% of our Wi-Fi users utilize, is GWN Cloud. This is a fully free cloud-based platform, runs on Amazon Web Services. There is literally no limit on the number of access points or sites you can use to manage with GWN Cloud. Again, fully free, no limit on the amount of APs. You can go to gwn.cloud to create a full account, or excuse me, to create a free account and get going right away. Again, that platform is fully free. There's no plans or anything. You get access to everything for free. If you would like that type of solution, that type of software-based management solution, but you would prefer it to be able to run on your local network as a software client, that's GWN Manager over there on the right. It is basically all of the features and functionality of GWN Cloud. It is just delivered on a software client that you would download and run on your local server so that it would control access points on the local network. Supports up to 3,000 access points with that, and again, that is fully free as well. So embedded, cloud, and software client, all free, all fully comprehensive, all available with all of our access points. All right, so we're about 17 minutes in here, covered half of the devices. Should be able to move through the rest of them a little bit quicker, as the rest of these devices are, I would say, maybe a little bit simpler. So hopefully many of you are familiar with our WP series. We came out with this series probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We've had a couple of different models up to this point, and recently and later this week, we have doubled the size of our Quartz WP series of cordless Wi-Fi IP phones. We have the new WP822 that was launched about 2 weeks ago, and tomorrow we will also, along with the access point I mentioned earlier, we will also launch a WP825, which is, I'll go into it more, but that is a ruggedized cordless Wi-Fi IP phone. We have seen tremendous growth. This has been I believe this was our second fastest growing category last year, aside from the Wi-Fi access points, are these cordless Wi-Fi IP phones. The way the modern business works, these types of devices that can run wirelessly, cordlessly, on Wi-Fi, that can roam around an entire office, that aren't limited to base stations like a DECT solution, that also allows you, in this hybrid and remote world that we work on, to take this phone from home to the office and back, around a school, around a college campus, around a enterprise campus. So many great deployment scenarios for these devices. We've got 2 new ones that we're really excited to roll out. First one, again, which was launched a couple of weeks ago, is the WP822. Again, all these devices have built-in dual band Wi-Fi with advanced roaming support, 2 different SIP accounts, 2 lines supported on them, full HD voice built into them. Great feature of these devices is they have noise shield technology, which blocks out background noises, which is especially great for more vertical applications like a warehouse or a doctor's office or a hospital or something along those lines. Rechargeable batteries with 8-hour talk time built into it. You've got built-in Bluetooth here on the WP822, which is great for connecting it to a headset. You could keep this phone in your pocket. You could use the belt clip that it comes with it, as you see on the right picture. Clip it on your belt and literally just press a button on your headset to answer and make calls. The WP822 also has a configurable button for push to talk. All of our WP series models has this. This is a great feature, especially obviously for a warehouse, but even, now that you have support teams or sales teams that might be working across multiple offices or working from home or moving back and forth, this push to talk gives, teams a great ability real fast to just push a button and get in touch with everyone else on the team. And the way that these devices are charged is with a micro USB port, which it comes with. It obviously will work with any micro USB port as well. It does also give you a 3.5mm headset jack. So this WP822 launched earlier in June. It's possible that it hasn't hit everyone's warehouse yet, or that it will be within the next week or so. But this is officially launched. So the second new model within our WP series, which we again are launching tomorrow, you will see this official announcement tomorrow, is the WP825. And the biggest differentiator, the main differentiator between this and all of our other cordless Wi-Fi phones is that this is ruggedized. It is built with a ruggedized casing. It makes it waterproof. It makes it drop safe from up to 2.5 meters, dust proof, all of that. And those are requirements for a lot of deployments, construction sites, warehouses, medical facilities mainly. That they will require those types of ruggedized, waterproof, drop safe features. So again, that's pretty much the main differentiator with this device. The rest of the specs that you see there are exactly the same as the WP822. 2 lines, 2 SIP accounts, HD voice, noise shield, 8-hour talk time with the battery, Bluetooth, configurable push to talk button, micro USB, 3.5mm headset jack. So again, difference between this and any of the other devices is the ruggedization. Other than that, the WP822 that you see here, which again was officially launched earlier in June, and the WP825, again, main difference between them is the ruggedization, waterproof, drop safe aspect of the WP825. This will be officially launched tomorrow. I've been told that we have had some stock in our inventory, in Grandstream's own inventory. Not quite sure how big it is. So you should be, long story short, you should be seeing these, the availability of these within the next couple of weeks, if not already. So that is the WP825, and I believe we've got 2 left, 2 different new products left here to tell you about. So again, I guess that first half and pretty much everything we talked about so far, whether it be Wi-Fi access points or Wi-Fi cordless phones, really kind of on that theme of the Wi-Fi solutions. The third device that I'm going to tell you about here, our GDS 3702 over there on the right. Hopefully everyone is familiar with our very popular GDS series of facility access devices. As you can see from the picture there, if you compare the new 3702 to the 3710 or the 3705, it is just the way it looks, a much simplified, very basic version of those other devices, and that is exactly what it is. You got basically here on the screen, we've got the 3710, which has been out for, I think, 5 or 6 years at this point. One of our best-selling non-IP phone devices. Camera, intercom, RFID, obviously keypad functionality built into it. The 3705 to the right is basically everything that I just mentioned minus the built-in camera. And then the 3702, which is the new device that we're talking about here, is pretty much a intercom system. As you can see just from looking at it, it's got 1 button. So all you can do with this device is push a button to have the device make a call inside and have somebody talk to you or open the door that way. There's no RFID, there's no keypad. This is a very simple 1 button intercom and facility access system. Essentially, the only way to get in with this device is to have somebody let you in from the inside. There's no keypad and no RFID. It's a fully SIP-based device, just like all the other GDSs. When the great thing about that is to set up a facility access solution, all you literally have to do is add these devices as a SIP extension on your network, and then go tell it what other SIP extensions to call, or what email addresses to email when somebody rings the doorbell or when a security alarm goes off. So yeah, really simple IP intercom system / facility access system, one button. And again, going back to this, the most simplified version, also obviously the most cost-effective version for the Grandstream facility access solution. This device was launched, I think, I actually forgot at this point in time. I believe we launched it back in may have been April, but this device should be fully available. All right. The last new thing, and some of you might be quite excited about this, I could be wrong, but we are in the process of launching and announcing our GXW 4200 series version 2. I think probably most people know that over the last 2 years, one of the hardest products to get in our industry, not just from Grandstream, but really from any manufacturer, has been VoIP gateways. We are excited to finally be able to say that we have stock of our GXW 4200 series high density VoIP gateways. Essentially what we did is we respun the previous model into a version 2, has all of the same features and functionalities as the initial version that many of you have probably been using, just has a different chip in it, which allows it to actually add a couple of pretty cool features, which I'll show you about in just a moment. But again, the highlight here, and I think the headline here, is that we have high density VoIP gateways available. My understanding is that we should have some available in our warehouses. If not, they will be very soon. I believe actually, yeah, so long story short, these are available and you should be able to get them very soon. And we're really excited to have gateways back. Honestly, over the last 2 years, the only product, and we make over 90 different products, the only product that we had any issues with in terms of availability or supply chain were these gateways, and we're excited to really be over that and have given us the opportunity to kind of build a little bit of an improved, enhanced gateway from what we have. So the traditional, or as most of you I'm sure know, the 4200 series gives you 4 different models: 16, 24, 32, and 48 FXS ports. Again, really allows you to take an office full, or a 16, 24, 32, or 48 analog devices and add them, integrate them with a VoIP solution, so that you can take advantage of everything that VoIP has to offer while essentially preserving previous investments in analog devices or in analog platforms. Support multiple SIP profiles, a whole bunch of auto provisioning options built into it, a gigabit network port, and they are all fully rack mountable. So what's different with V2? What are the new features available, or what have we added in V2 that wasn't available in V1? Like I mentioned a moment ago, the main difference is that it has a more powerful chip than the previous versions. So that allows it to offer and to support a couple of more high-end features. One being full support for HD voice, specifically Opus and G722. I'd say the second most important one we were able to move all of the carrier grade security features that we've put on basically every other device we've launched in the last couple of years. We were able to add those to these gateways. So what am I talking about there? Secure boot, which is a process in which the devices will basically do a number of internal checks before they boot up, and if it senses that anything is off, it will not boot up. You've got random default passwords per device, which mainly is when you're setting it up. It's just, there's not one password that somebody could use to get into all of your devices. They're all going to have completely different ones, and they're not predictable. Dual firmware, which allows, if anything happens with one of the firmwares, it can just automatically switch over to the other. You got unique security certificates, which also goes along with kind of along with the default password, just, you know, essentially making it all of the devices are separate. If you get into one, or if there's issues with one, it's not going to spread to anything else. And we've got these other processes that will allow the device to shut itself down to automatically protect itself. So those are the carrier grade security features. We're also now able to offer simultaneous three-way voice conferencing on every port. We've added FTP and FTPS provisioning. And the main thing, and frankly, one of the biggest things that you're going to see on the 4200 series, which is not fully available yet, it will be supported and integrated with GDMS, which is the Grandstream Device Management System. That is our cloud management system. We are expecting to finalize a new firmware version within the next month, and that new firmware will make these devices fully integrated and compatible with GDMS so that you can manage them centrally from the cloud. So again, GXW 4200 series high density VoIP gateways. We are excited to have a new and improved model that is fully available. So again, we've got gateways available, and we're excited to get them to you very soon. With that said, that pretty much wraps up the main part. I just have, before we wrap up, or as we wrap up, I want to mention a couple of quick products that you're going to see from us and launched in July and August. A couple of really exciting things that I definitely kind of want to, you know, show everybody now. So the first thing is a GWN 7624. This is an in-wall Wi-Fi access point. The main target audience and the main target audience for these devices are hotels. You probably haven't even realized it, but if you go into any hotel room, most of them are going to have an access point somewhere in the room that looks just like this, almost doesn't look like an access point. This device also has one or two PoE ports built into it, which the reason it offers that is it allows this device to power a TV that might be connected to it, or a room phone that might be connected to it, or both. So that's the 7624. Again, I think the main audience that this is for is hotels, but could go along the lines of convention centers, apartment complexes, residential facilities, whatnot. This should be launched in July or early August. And the last thing, which I may have mentioned this in a previous webinar, we're excited to be launching routers. It's kind of been one of the main things missing, or that we haven't really fully developed from our GWN series of Wi-Fi solution, is the router side of it. We've got two that you're going to see launch in the next couple of months. As you can see, really cool form factor for these devices. The GWN 7062 on the left is going to be Wi-Fi 6 router. The GWN 7052 on the right is going to be a Wi-Fi 5 router. And obviously, the one on the left has the 6 in it, the one on the right has the 5 in it, and that's kind of an easy way to distinguish what Wi-Fi protocols they're built for. So again, you should see these launched in July, if not the first half of August, and we're really excited for these. We've seen a lot of uptick in our relationships with a number of wireless internet service providers, and we've really began to start to mention these devices to them, and it's really been a pretty impactful message so far. Not only to have all the Wi-Fi access points and the management systems that we have, but now also these great routers. We're also going to have point-to-point and point-to-multi-point solutions later in the year, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. All right, with that said, that wraps up what I had planned here for the webinar. Gave you a preview of, or covered 8 different new devices. Most of them are currently available or have already been launched. Again, we've got tomorrow we'll launch the WP825, the cordless Wi-Fi phone, and we'll also launch GWN 7664LR, that highest end long-range outdoor Wi-Fi access point. The GXW 4200 series has essentially been soft launched, and we will officially announce it probably next week. And everything else we talked about, except for those 3 things at the end that are coming soon, everything else we talked about is officially launched and should be fully available. All right, with that, I will wrap up my presentation and want to thank everybody as always, and I'll turn it back over to Julie for any questions.
Thank you so much, Phil, for that wonderful presentation. And it looks like we definitely have some questions for you. Let's get started with the first one. Question number 1. For the GWN 7664 Advanced QoS, will it be able to control bandwidth speed for each device?
All of it. It's able to literally be customized to control everything that you just mentioned there. In addition to the type of data being exchanged, can also be controlled by the advanced QoS feature.
Great, thank you so much. Next question. For the GWN 766 OLR and the GWN 766 4LR, how many devices can be connected via mesh technology if possible?
You know, that is a great question. And I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But I will say that I have not at any point in time, and you know, we've had these devices out for a while and have really been pushing them out this year. I have not been aware of or heard of any limitations on these devices in terms of a mesh setup. I think most likely the more, you know, more powerful the access point is, the more clients it supports, the faster speeds it supports, probably would allow you to build, you know, a bigger, a wider mesh network. So the 7664 LR might be better in that case. But yeah, I'll have to basically get more information on that, but I have not been aware of or come across any limitations in terms of the ability to build mesh networks with our devices. And we do all of our access points and the management systems do fully support mesh networking. And we have a bunch of guides on our website that probably would actually be able to answer that question.
Sounds good, excellent. So people can go, we're gonna, you know, talk about going to your website in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Next question. Okay, thank you. Next question here for you. Are all of your new devices, do they support PoE connections or does it come with its own AC adapters?
Nope, they do all support PoE. Yeah, they do all support PoE. My belief that most of them do not come with an adapter, although we do sell adapters separately.
Excellent, thank you. Next question, Bill. It shows you have 3 free management options. Do you mean that there's a paid subscription or specific services offered?
Great question. No, there is no cost for any of it. We are, with all those management systems, there's no tiers, there's no packages, there's no plans. It's all free, and we're giving you access to everything that we can possibly include in it. So yeah, there's no cost for any of it. We've had all of those platforms out for 3 or 4 years now. There never has been any pricing for it or any plans, and there never will be. It is a central component. As I mentioned, it's probably one of our biggest differentiators in the Wi-Fi space right now, is that we do offer all of those management systems and that they're all free and that you get access to all of it. Again, no plans, no tiers, free access to everything we can give you.
Sounds good, Phil. Thank you so much. Couple more questions. Next one here. How many network Wi-Fi names and profiles can be created on each device?
That's a good question. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure that I know the answer to that question. Can definitely find out very easily and follow up. But yeah, I'm sorry, not 100% sure of the answer to that question.
No problem. Thank you. We can follow up at a later time. Next question here for you. Regarding the GWN 7664 LR detachable antennas. So is it changeable to a different brand or specific to Grandstream antennas only?
Yeah, that's a good question. specific to Grandstream antennas, the reason why they're detachable is that it basically allows you to kind of tier up or down the device based off of what you need, of whether you need to use all four, which is obviously, or two if you're using this 7660 LR to get the full breadth of it, or to kind of scale it down based off of your needs. But yeah, they are specific to work with our own antennas, which do come with it. It's not an extra purchase. With 7664 LR comes with the 4 antennas. 7660 comes with the 2 antennas.
Thank you so much, Phil. Last question here for you. When anyone goes to your website, I'm sure we can find information on customer service, technical support, product information, data sheets, and all that. Can you talk about that a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually just launched, and I'm trying to bring it up on my phone so I can give you the right URL for it. But we just launched a new documentation center, which basically is a centralized resource for all of the technical documents, marketing data sheets, whatnot that we have. The best way, it looks like, because we just launched it, I'm not sure if we have a special link for it on our website. Actually, no, I lied. So if you go to our website and you click on the support drop-down menu, the first option there is Documentation Center. And that will take you to a page where you will literally right off the bat see all of our different product categories. You pick the product category, you pick the product, and it will show you every different documentation, technical documentation piece that we have on these devices. One of the great things about it is everything's available either as a PDF or just right on the page. So whatever is best for you on that front. So that is, I would say, the best resource specifically for technical documentation. You can also find on any of the product pages on our website, you'll be able to find marketing product data sheets. They'll all be right up there at the top. There'll be a drop-down menu next to the product page, or next to the product image on every product page, where you can get access to the marketing data sheets for that. Those product pages also link back to the documentation center that I just mentioned. So I would say that documentation center is your best bet for anything technical, and those product pages are your best bet for more marketing type materials, data sheets, whatnot.
Excellent. Thank you, Phil, so much for answering all of those questions and announcing a lot of that new product information for us. Also, thank you to everyone for attending today's webinar. And if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Everybody, have a fantastic day. Phil, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time and all of the wonderful information that you shared with us from Grandstream. Phil, have a great, wonderful day. Until next time, we do another webinar. Adios, my friend.
Always enjoy it. I look forward to the next one. Hope everybody takes care and, enjoy the summertime now that we're here. See you guys soon.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
See ya.